Okay, we'll continue with the Golden Valley City Council and Mayoral Candidate Forum sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Golden Valley. We've just heard from 6 candidates for City Council, and now we will move on to the mayoral race. And we will start with...
wait for your time?
Oh, that would be nice.
Where are they?
Should hire her. She's get her a job. Is that voice, Jillian?
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck.
We'll start with the with the opening statement, and Marty Mix will start.
Thank you. Good evening. I first want to thank the Golden Valley League of Women Voters for sponsoring this event and Northwest Community Television for cablecasting it. I'm running for mayor of Golden Valley, and if you've lived in Golden Valley for over 20 years, you may remember that I served on City Council from 1994 to 2002. I gained a wide variety of experience from that time period of contentious redevelopment projects and how to fund pavement management. When I go to D'Amico's or Starbucks, I feel a sense of pride in being part of that redevelopment of our downtown Golden Valley with support of small businesses and a lovely residential component. It took a village, literally, to get us there, but the results were worth it. I'm proud of the part I played in moving forward the Hidden Lakes development and reducing some of the density. I fought against TIF projects that would have occurred without city involvement, and I fought against using bonded debt for the pavement management program. Recently, I ran across some of my notes to the City Council back in 1997, where I predicted that at 18 years into the project, the city would have very little flexibility in doing other needed things without raising taxes. Well, we're there now. Our debt is $72 million with $50 million additional planned projects in the next 30 years. And the mayor did want a community center that cost about $20 million more than that. So I'm very concerned about the crisis in leadership in our city, the overbuilding of 1,400 apartment units with the first building 40% vacant after a year.
Okay, I think we're out of time here. Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was a minute and a half.
No.
Okay.
You've got stop up. Okay.
Okay. It's supposed to be a minute and a half.
Go ahead.
I'm concerned about my opponent in 2011 receiving over $24,000 in contributions, almost all from outside Golden Valley. I'm concerned that as the mayor, as a paid lobbyist, had a conflict of interest when he voted to give the Jewish Housing Project $1/3 million in community development block grant funds.
Okay. Thank you, Marty. Shep Harris, please.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Golden Valley for the honor to serve and represent our community as mayor. 4 years ago, what I heard and what I continue to still hear today from so many people is a desire for progress, for housing and economic development, for better outreach, and for ways to make our government more cost-effective and efficient. And I can tell you we've made tremendous gains over the past 4 years. But we are expecting an influx of 2,000 to 3,000 more residents over the next 20 to 30 years, and 7,000 to 9,000 more jobs. Now, we can fear that change, or we can shape that change in a way that protects our special charm and character of our neighborhoods and our community. And here are ways that we've already started to do that. More than 1,000 new housing units for senior citizens, people with disabilities, for families with young children. 6 new playgrounds, first ever lawn bowling lanes at Brookview Community Center, designated bike lanes, 20 plus neighborhood meetings, city surveys, open houses, task forces, a teen committee, even a Facebook page. But I should also add that our fiscal house is in better shape now that our DMV is reopened. We've saved in our annual budget $150,000 a year by restructuring our 911 dispatch system, and we're paying down our debt, all of this through modest tax increases. So it's really amazing to see how much we've accomplished in such a short period of time. It's a result of good leadership and teamwork with you, with the City Council, and with our city staff. It's been a good partnership, and I believe that we can accomplish even more and make Golden Valley greater with this partnership continuing forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shep. The next question, or the first question is, what are the most pressing transportation issues in Golden Valley and the immediately surrounding communities, and how would you propose we address these concerns? We'll start with Shep Harris.
I'm a big drinker. What'd you say? I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. We have some serious transportation challenges for the future of Golden Valley, especially with what I just said about an increased daytime population as well as a nighttime or weekend population that's coming in the decades ahead of us. So to address those needs and to plan in a way that protects the character of our neighborhoods and our community, I think what we need to do is focus on several areas. One, more bike lanes, like the ones that we're getting literally today on Golden Valley Road, soon on Douglas Drive, and soon on Winnetka Avenue. We need to fix the Highway 169 interchange over between 394 and Highway 55. And most importantly, we need to make Highway 55 safer for pedestrian crossings, for better traffic flow north and south, especially at Winnetka Avenue and Glenwood Avenue. And we need to keep Highway 55, oh, it's upside down. Well, I guess I'll get the light rail later. But I was just going to say we need to keep Highway 55 from becoming the next Highway 394.
Thank you. Marty Mix.
Right, when you're talking about transportation, we can just be on the highway during rush hour. We know we've got a big congestion problem. I had wished that the light rail would deal with that congestion by going east-west along Highway 55 or even on the high occupancy vehicle lane of 394. But that being said, that will be of some help 30 years down the line. I would prefer that we focus in on transportation that works for Golden Valley residents. We're a community that everyone has probably access to a computer. We should be able to set the needs of the people's transportation needs with what the buses can provide. You know, we've got the Uber and Lyft and cars. Why can't we have something like that for our bus systems? We haven't really talked about something like that, but I think it would be a very innovative way to meet the needs of people. It helps students get to college if we have a group of students going to the U. It'd be nice if we had buses going along Glenwood, Highway 55, Golden Valley Road to get the kids there to school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how does the role of mayor differ from that of other city council members? We'll start with Marty.
The role of mayor is that they are also the weed inspector. I don't know if you knew that, but they are officially the weed inspector. And I have never seen a mayor that took on the job. They always pass it on to the inspections department. The mayor does run the meetings, and the mayor is supposed to make sure, well, they have to meet with the city manager and make sure that the agenda items are on. They are, as a council member, their vote is just the same. I think the mayor is supposed to usually get the council members to speak first before they give their opinions on it. But it's a matter of just trying to make sure that everyone is heard in the council, that they're respectful of the other council members, that respectful of the city employees, and of course respectful to the residents that come before them.
Thank you. Shep Harris, please.
Well, and thank you. In addition to what Marty just said, like I say all the time, I'm only one of 5 people up here. There's many people who think that the mayor is the king, can make lots of unilateral decisions, and sorry to take the air out of your balloon, but that's not the truth. The fact is that we operate under a Plan B form of government. The mayor is a weak, passive, reactive mayor who needs to work with the council and with the strong executive, which is the city manager. And I believe that I'm actually doing that better. In talking with other mayors and with many other residents, the old version of Plan B has changed. People expect leadership. They expect more of a mayor to step up nowadays. And I can give you numerous examples, whether it's on social media or giving out my personal cell phone number. I see the role of mayor as being an ambassador for our community and to our community. So whether it's when we've lost power in 2013 or even power earlier this summer, I was out there lending my generator, making sure people were getting their power back on by contacting Xcel Energy when they wouldn't respond to our city staff. And I even made sure that a wedding reception happened at Brookview Picnic Shelter.
Thank you, Shep. The next question is, what are the most pressing transportation issues in Golden Valley and immediately surrounding communities? And how do you...
Deja vu.
Oh, is it?
I mean, we can answer it again because I didn't get a chance to talk about light rail.
Okay,
Yeah.
there is a light rail one that
Oh,
I
well,
want
there
to
you
get
go.
to
Okay.
too, but I'll get to that when I find it here. As mayor, what can you do to promote economic growth, both in terms of creating job opportunities and expanding the commercial tax base? And we start with Shep.
Well, I think the short answer is a lot. And what it comes down to really is leadership and the staff being on the same page and being proactive. And I think we are at that point here in Golden Valley. We've already done a lot. We've rejuvenated the shopping area around the intersection of Boone Avenue and Highway 55 with things like Culver's and Witch and Papa Murphy's and True Stone Bank. You'll see over on the corner of Golden Valley Road and Douglas Drive, CenterPoint Energy is putting up their new technical service building. We now have a Golden Valley Business Council, which includes the Rotary, Twin West Chamber of Commerce, and our local schools. And what I'm very excited about, what we could do to forward the viability of our community, and we're almost this close, is bringing a very popular grocery co-op to Golden Valley Shopping Mall. So we can't say who yet, because it's not official, but we really are that close, and we're waiting an application pretty soon. So I think that's an example of some of the things that we can do to help further forward the future and greatness of our community.
Thank you, Shep. Marty Mix.
Yes, there are many things that we can do to increase the vitality of the city. And many things have already been done by previous councils and by the current council. I would look to have our planning and economic development be a little more proactive. I think the council needs to be more clear to give a concise vision to them so that they know exactly which direction to go to, because right now I don't think those decisions have been made. I'm looking now at Douglas Drive, which we are paying $10 million for, and I think it's a huge cost for us, but I think we can turn lemonade out of the lemons of that cost and actually focus on some redevelopment in that area. It's, east of Douglas Drive, there are opportunities for commercial, residential, professional buildings, and I think that we should to see where it can really fit best for the city with a community vision and the developers.
Thank you. I found the light rail question. What are your thoughts on light rail, and what is your position on granting municipal consent? And we'll start with Marty Mix.
All right. Light rail in general, I think light rail is a great idea. Then we get into the details of where it's going and is it really serving the needs of the community. We've got so many areas where there's a lot of density and the light rail is not going there. We've got Bambi being served down at the Plymouth station or the Golden Valley station, Bambi the deer. And I think that it really is going to be great for Brooklyn Park, and for the municipal consent, I'd really be quick. I don't think we should give municipal consent until we have all the facts. We need to know, because it's very important. Is this going to be going to hurt the environment there of the park? The park is, very important. And if this is going to be something where we don't have some kind of parking at the Golden Valley Station, I don't want to see cars parked all over the neighborhoods there.
Is this past the time?
No, I would see a stop if it was.
Okay.
And then, there we go. No, thanks.
I thought I saw a stop. Sorry, Martin.
Okay.
Shep, what's your ideas about light rail?
Can you just repeat the question?
Sure. What are
I know
your
what the question is, but just so.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on light rail, and what is your position on granting municipal consent?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I do support light rail. If we want to be a viable community in a viable region of our country, we have to be open to mass transit, but with some caveats. And Marty has mentioned some of them already. We as a city council have already listed a number of our concerns, and we have forwarded those to the Met Council, and we're going to continue to look at that, in fact, next week, especially when it comes to parking being an issue, as well as development. We want to protect the current charm and character. I keep saying that over and over again, the current charm and character of that neighborhood. We don't want that to change. We also think it's important to check on the environmental impacts. We're also very concerned about any sort of noise and vibrations, as well as any sort of light pollution. So we have a long way to go on this before we get to municipal consent. And I've made sure, when I've met with Met Council Chair Adam Dunnick just last week with Councilmember Stoke, I've conveyed these issues, and I said we really need to have as many answers as possible for municipal consent. I should also add, we're also going to have the opportunity to leverage bus rapid transit down Highway 55 as part of this deal. So this will benefit, could benefit our community, but we still need to follow up on all the facts.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how would you characterize Golden Valley's current marketing and outreach efforts, and what is your vision for Golden Valley's place within the greater metro? In other words, how might Golden Valley be marketed, and how does this fit into your vision for Golden Valley? We start with Shep Harris.
Better marketing.
Better marketing in Golden Valley's place within the greater metro.
Well, I think Golden Valley is a fantastic place to live, work, and play. I say that all the time. And I brag about us when I'm at the Regional Council of Conference of Mayors on a monthly basis, or I'm talking with other council members or other legislators. It really is a fantastic place to live. And I brag about our wonderful neighborhoods, whether it's the Kelly Drive Pumpkin Festival, which is happening this weekend, or it's the Lee Avenue Barbecue Fest, which happened recently, or the Golden Valley Art and Music Festival. And we need to let the world know about that. And so we have looked at possibilities of teaming up with St. Louis Park to better market who we are and how we want people to come here. But we have to do it in a very modest, deliberate way, because the last thing we want when you come and see this wonderful festival this weekend, you don't want to see our neighborhoods overrun. So I think we need to tell the world who we are, but we have to do it in a very careful, deliberate way.
Thank you. Marty Mix.
Yes, as for marketing, I don't want to have like St. Louis Park, the big billboard as you're coming down 35. Because I know that Golden Valley is already a gem. We don't have to market it. The location is amazing. The people are amazing. We've got great neighborhoods. I think we could do a better job of marketing to some of the developers. If there's things we want, I think we need to go out there and tell them that, look, we've got some land available, or there's some properties that are for sale. Maybe this is a time for you to go buy it, because this would be a perfect fit for your company or for your housing development. I think that we could also improve, and through our Facebook on Golden Valley, some of the great events that we have going on in the city, and they are not doing it. Maybe we could find some kind of internet site where we could promote the various events that are going on in Golden Valley, because, you know, and Shep, you've been very good about posting these things on Facebook. Every day there is something going on. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Golden Valley is known for its strong corporate climate. Thus, many people come to work here and then leave to go home. Our residents leave our community to seek arts and culture elsewhere. How would you increase arts and culture in our community? We'll start with Marty Mix.
You know, we just had an arts and music festival just a couple weeks ago, which was a wonderful event. I think that we also have Sunday band concerts in the summertime. I think that we could do as much as we have as among the residents, because we have a lot of artistic people in the community, whether they're musically inclined or artistically inclined. We could have more events with kind of competitions, like we do for the photography. It could also be for artwork. It could be for the concept of a sculpture that people could say, this is Golden Valley. Just like you see when you go to see the cherry on the spoon, that's Minneapolis. Well, maybe we could have an event where there's a competition for some kind of cool art in the city of Golden Valley. But again, these things cost money, so we'd have to probably rely on private donations to expand arts and culture.
Thank you. Marty, Shep Harris, please.
It's a great question. I actually have two ideas about this. One is something that we already have started. Yes, we do have the Golden Valley Arts and Music Festival. We also have the ingredients for some great opportunities for art and cultural heritage in Golden Valley. And there is a group of people that started to get together and form an arts council recently. It needs some more help. And now, of course, I'm one of 5 up here. So the council really needs to agree to this partnership, but working with the Arts Council to bring in the Perpich Center, to bring in the General Mills arts curator, to bring in other elements of our community that are well known for their art and music. The other idea I just want to mention very quickly is I also am aware in other communities around the country, they actually work with their community foundation. They'll collect a hotel tax that will go to the community foundation, and then the foundation turns around and actually pays for the art and pays for the cultural activities without raising taxes on its community residents, but on the visitors that are coming to the residents, and we all get the benefit by doing that. So that's something I hope if I get reelected I can talk with our council about and consider.
Okay, how do you feel the city should respond to complaints regarding property maintenance or lack of it? Who is responsible? Start with Shep Harris.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more?
How do you feel the city should respond to complaints regarding property maintenance or lack of it? Who is responsible?
Well, we're responsible. I mean, the city council ultimately is responsible, working with the city manager. It happens all the time. We have actually increased our housing inspections over the past couple of years. Our city council, along with our city manager, have said we need to do a better job of helping our residents, not coming down hard on our residents and being overburdensome, but working with our residents who may be struggling through some tough times. The paint may be peeling on their houses. There may be some junk on the side that's visible from the curb. And so what I do basically almost on a daily basis, I get contacted by residents who are concerned about their neighbors' properties. And what we do is immediately talk to the city manager, who then talks to our housing inspectors. And so you may remember that card we got in the mail earlier this summer about these inspections that are happening throughout the city. And so we think we're here to help our residents. And if we're not doing a good job, you need to tell us so that we make sure we can do a good job to make our neighborhoods as beautiful as possible.
Thank you, Shep. Marty Mix.
Yes, we do have 6 people working in the inspections department, and a couple of them do go around checking houses. I think that, obviously the person themselves is responsible. If there's work that has to be done, they have to pay for it. The city will assess them. But as we know, when people are really having problems, it's usually because there's some economic problems or some problems that they're having in their lives that they can't get to the work. Most people are fairly understanding of their neighbors, and we have different standards. Some people are extreme neatniks, and then we have those that are really laid back. It's kind of like the odd couple, and all living in the same neighborhood. So we're always going to have some forms of complaints. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but I think in general we have a very good-looking community, and it looks very well kept up.
Thank you. How would you reach out to constituents when deciding about the placement of group homes in similar facilities? Marty Mix first.
I don't think the residents have had much of a choice. I didn't realize until I was going door knocking, we have 2 group homes in my neighborhood. Those are things where I think we've got different levels of government that have different kinds of group homes. Some are state, some are county, and I don't know that the city has any legal authority to direct where they go. Not that I know, unless there's been a new law passed.
Thank you, Marty. Shep Harris.
Well, Marty is correct. It's a state mandate in terms of placement and location. However, it doesn't mean, and this is where I see us as an opportunity to take a position of leadership. This is an opportunity, just like we have increased our engagement and our outreach to our community, this is yet another opportunity to work with our residents, to work with that organization or that owner of that organization, to bring together and have a dialogue in the community in that particular neighborhood to make sure that everything's going to work out okay, because we're neighbors. I have a couple of group homes literally right just a couple houses down the street from me, and we have great relationships. But that takes work, and it doesn't always happen overnight. And that's where the city could, if the neighborhood is interested in doing that, there's an opportunity to help facilitate that conversation. I mean, we need to be a welcoming and open type of community. I think we are. And when we do things like that, I think that just further underscores how wonderful a community we are and that type of progressive, welcoming community that we can be.
Thank you. I think this will probably be the last question. What is the top opportunity for Golden Valley in the next 4 years, and what is the greatest threat to Golden Valley over the next 4 years? And we'll start with Shep Harris.
So the top
opportunity and the top threat.
Okay. I think we've already talked about transportation, so I'll stick to the two. I don't know if I see them as opportunities, not so much as threats. It's how we take advantage of the challenge. And so one is housing and economic redevelopment. We need to protect our neighborhoods from overdevelopment, and I think we actually have done a good job. This council has worked on what's called subdivision reform, and you can ask anyone who may be here from the Rose Trolley neighborhood, or I see Bruce over there from North Tyrol Hills, where we've worked really hard to try to make sure that our neighborhoods don't get overrun by development. We need to rejuvenate areas of our city that have become a little tired, like over on Golden Valley Road, where the old Golden Valley Bowl was. We can now say it was. It's no longer there, and we're revitalizing it. So we need to work on that. We need to work on the community center. We need to work on our water main system as well. We need to fix our aging playgrounds. So there's a combination of housing and economic opportunities as well as infrastructure opportunities.
Thank you. Marty Mix.
All right, so for an opportunity, I think I have one dream, and that would be that we could have zero unemployment in Golden Valley. And we have got businesses where we have 32,000 people coming into the city every day and only 20,000 people living here. We have people who are unemployed. I think it'd be awesome if we could build upon what Open to Business and Twin West Chamber of Commerce and bringing skilled retirees and skilled business people to help mentor those who are unemployed and help if it means people driving them to get to training. But I think we could really, as a community, come together to make this the most awesome city ever, because we have got some great opportunities with the businesses here, and we have a variety of businesses, so it's not like you have to just do one particular skill thing. Greatest threat, our debt. Our debt, if we're at 70 million, and yes, 11 million will be retired next year, so we're down to 61 million. Add 50 million to that, you've got 111 million. That's a threat.
Thank you. Okay, we'll have our closing statements now from these two candidates for the mayor of Golden Valley. Marty Mix will start.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening and for becoming informed before you vote. I've lived in Golden Valley for 40 years. I care about keeping our city strong economically and socially. We have a fine line to walk between providing amenities for young families without taxing them out of their homes. I want to see smart development that attracts the young and keeps the old by providing a variety of housing options, not more apartments. We need to be wary of taking on more debt to redevelop. The apartments being built are also costing us over $10 million in road projects, not to mention the water and sewer costs, extra demands on inspectors, fire, and police. I'm not here to build a resume. I'm here to build a strong and economically healthy Golden Valley. Our city's been a great place to raise my children. I want it to be for other families now and in the future. You may go to my website, www.martymixformayor.com, and please, on November 3rd, please vote.
Thank you.
For me.
Gotta get in the last part.
Shep Harris, please.
This has gone by very quickly. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters tonight, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming tonight. I don't need to tell you how important this election is. I know this city. I know all the neighborhoods, and I know the people. The point is that I know we have something very special here, and we have an opportunity to build on that and to once again be a dynamic community. We've made some outstanding progress over the past 4 years. We've succeeded in housing and economic development, outreach, and we're making government work better for you, all in a fiscally responsible way. We still have work to do, and I know that greatness is actually within our reach, but only if we choose to go there. You know, this election is not about me. It's about us. It's about our community. It's about Golden Valley being the example for our children and for all of Minnesota. Now, if you agree with the many that I've heard from, if you want to be a positive voice for Golden Valley, if you want our community to be welcoming, proactive, and forward-thinking, then vote for this vision and vote for me on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you to all of the candidates for your willingness to speak tonight and to run for public office. Our democracy depends on citizens who are willing to step up and serve the public. So all of you, would you please thank these candidates? Now, Gloria Erickson, the voter service chair for the League of Women Voters Golden Valley, has some final words.
On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Golden Valley, I would like to thank the candidates for being here tonight, and I would especially like to thank Jerry Nelson for moderating. I would also like to thank Northwest Community Television for making it possible to view this event at home. If you are interested in learning more about League of Women Voters, there are brochures on the table. League members will be here. We'll be happy to discuss league activities with you. We would love to have you join. Above all else, please remember to vote Tuesday, November 3rd.
Oh, God, this is over with. I told you.